In this part, we're going to go over the graphing logarithmic functions. And just want to, before we go over those 4 questions, I want to talk through something real quickly. When we're graphing logarithmic functions, we want to graph the parent function first. And then once we graph the parent function, like in number 14, we can deal with things that are subtracted or added to the function or within the function. So first thing I wanted to mention about graphing logarithms is we're really focusing on just a few different points. In fact, it's 3 points. And the way that we're going to do this is we're always going to plug in 0, not 0, 1, I should have said 1, the base, and the reciprocal of the base. When you plug in 1, you will get 0 for every parent function. When you plug in the base, you'll get 1, and when you plug in the reciprocal of the base, you'll get -1. And that's how you can graph each one. And I will give you this heads up when you take the quiz. Notice in this quiz review, I always used base 3 in each one. That's because I just want you to graph your parent function, and then the other ones are just going to be related to that parent function. It's going to be the same idea on the quiz, not necessarily base 3, but if one question has base 2, the rest of them will also use base 2. So here we go. We want to graph this first function here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a table, and we want to put in 1. We want to put in the base, which is 3, and we want to put in the reciprocal of the base, which is 1/3. When we put in 1, it's going to be 0. And the reason that is, if we did log base 3 of 1, we think 3 to what power gives me 1, and 3 to the 0 power gives me 1. The next one, we're plugging in 3. 3 to what power gives us 3? It's 1. And I mentioned before, when you plug in the base, you'll get 1. And for the reciprocal, you'll get -1. And so those are the 3 points that you need when you're graphing a parent function. So number 13 is a parent function. It doesn't have anything added or subtracted. So we're going to graph those 3 points. We have the point 1, 0. That's right here. We have the point 3, 1. And 1/3, -1. Now you should have an idea of what the logarithmic function looks like already. It has a vertical asymptote at the y-axis. It always goes through this point 1, 0, and then it goes upward. So there is the parent function. That's the answer to number 13. For 14, 15, and 16, since they're all the same base as mentioned before, we're going to start with that function and then work with our transformation, whether it's moved left or moved right or moved up or down. So here we go. We want to start with the parent function. We already have it, so you could just copy the points from the first one. I'm just going to write them just to remind you. Remember, we want to put in 1. We want to put in the base, which is 3, and we want to put in the reciprocal of the base is 1/3. When you put in 1, you'll get 0 for the parent function. When you put in 3, you get 1. And when you put 1/3, you get -1. So in red, I'm going to go ahead and put our parent function. So there's 1, 0, 3, 1, and 1/3, -1. That's the parent function. Now, that's not my answer. My answer is not log base 3 of x. We have this -4. This -4 is outside the function. So remember, that's going to move it down 4. So what we can do is we can take each of these points, these 3 points that we used for our parent function, move each one down 4 points. So I'll start with the furthest to the left. I'm going to move that down 4. So it's at -1. It will be down at -5. This one moves down 4. And this point moves down 4, so it will be there. When we move everything down, this vertical asymptote does not move. It's still the y-axis. So that green graph is a sketch of the function y equals log base 3 of x minus 4. So once you have that down, these other ones are same idea, just doing different things in this case. So our 3 points here, we're going to put in 0. We're going to put in the base and the reciprocal of the base. We get 1. When we put in the base, sorry, I said that wrong. We put in 1, I did that mistake before. We put in 1, the base and the reciprocal of the base. So we get 0, 1, and negative 1, and we've had those points twice already. Here's the third time. So there's our parent function. So when you take your quiz, you can do this lightly, the parent function, and then move it, or you could use a different color to move it, whatever you want there. And now we have plus 2 inside the parentheses. This means it moves left 2. And so we're going to move those 3 points left 2. Now this time the vertical asymptote is moved left 2. So if it's moved, it does help to put a little dotted line here, or dashed line. So you see that that's the vertical asymptote, and then you sketch in your graph. Oh, that one was rough. So there's the answer. And then number 16, I'm not going to do all the points for the parent function. I'm not going to do the table. I'm just going to put them in there. We've done them 3 times already. There's the parent function again. This one now is a little different, though. This one moves right 1 and up 3. I think my pencil is out of battery. So right 1 and up 3. So you're going to move each of those points right 1 and up 3. So right 1, up 3, right 1, up 3, and right 1, up 3. So count those off. The asymptote does move also. It moves right 1 and up 3. Well, the up 3 doesn't matter, but it does move right 1. So there's the asymptote, and there is the graph of our function. So that's graphing logarithmic function.